This one's about to be a motherfucking doozy. Good morning, YouTube. As promised, I have my update to the I hate my job video, and I am at home. I'm in a little bit different digs. Camera's still not set. Oh, no, that's the wall. Okay, there I am. And I have done nothing today except for call out of work and make breakfast. So I'll show you what I'm working with this morning. I've got my eggs, toast, bacon, and a little blueberry and yogurt parfait, coffee, and a little bit of Irish cream to use as creamer because that's just what kind of day it is. So I'm gonna eat with y'all. So it's gonna be a little mukbang situation. Never done one of those before. Never really, still trying to find my camera groove. Let me cook, wait a minute, okay? And it's been a morning. Yesterday was a day. I am so very over it. It's going to be a mukbang update, talk to the camera video, unfiltered, no cuts, because I'm right about here with my work situation. So anyway, I gotta get by these eggs first real quick. 1 second. These eggs are huge. I got them from Trader Joe's and they're massive. Organic, free range, made with happy hens, made from happy hens. Hell yeah. Irish cream, cheers. Cheers. Stir that up a little bit and we are ready to go. Yes. How do you guys like your coffee? Do you like it black? Do you like it with a little cream, a lot of cream, sugar, Splenda, monk fruit? What do you like? Let me know in the comments. And let's get into this shit. So, my very first video was called I Hate My Job. The feeling is still very much along those lines. And this morning, it really came to a head for me because I woke up to do my workout, as I usually do, 5 o'clock, 5:15-ish. And almost immediately, like within 1 minute of waking up and thinking about going to work, I was feeling ill. Less than 5 minutes later, I was vomiting in the bathroom. And that has only happened to me a few times where I am just so distressed by even the mere idea of going to work that I am physically ill. And I have to call out because I don't know what the rest of the day is going to bring, honestly. If the beginning with me not even being in there is bringing me nausea and vomiting, who knows what's next when I actually clock in. I think it was reasonable for me to clock out. Anyway, I've come to this level of distress due to, and I'm sure everybody who works at my company is lovely people outside of the office, I'm sure. But the processes in place, the management styles in place, that's my fucking on-call phone ringing right now. 1 second. Hi. I'm also on call. And we'll get to that. Yes, so back to what I was saying. Management styles. Accountability in that I was brand new. I was taught something by what is now a very clearly unprepared manager. That manager has since left and we're rebuilding everything. However, myself and another coworker are getting the flack for it. And it's getting really uncomfortable. It's getting really toxic. Managers are starting to talk down. And there's a lot of condescending behavior and passive aggressive behavior. One of them has to do with this phone and my illness this morning. And we'll get to that. But I want to give a little background on just the job in general. It's my first healthcare administration job. I have clinical experience in that I was a CNA, caregiver before that, worked with benchmarking for CMS, Centers of Medicare and Medicaid before that. And I feel like I know my shit. Was offered this job at a rate that doesn't make any sense. That is the lowest I've been paid for probably the last 7 years. So that doesn't help the mental space that I'm in as I go into the office, right? I am doing so much. I am scheduling, I am recruiting, I am payroll, I am HR. Yeah. And it is, for my county, just above minimum wage. 9 to 5, 5 days a week. So decent work-life balance, yes. But then I have the fucking on-call phone. If I want my checks to actually make sense for my life, on-call is required to fill that wage gap that I'm experiencing right now. Hence why I will usually take on-call. It's my position's duty to take on-call majority of the time, and I take it a little more than the majority of the time to help my checks make sense for me and my life and where I am and where I want to go. And I came into the position really, really hopeful, hoping to learn the operations, the ins and outs of a home health care agency. And the knowledge that I've gained is excellent. I think I can definitely put it to use at a later date. However, again, going back to processes, there is a lot of redundancy that doesn't make sense, that is not necessary as far as California state regulations are concerned. There's a lot of back and forth, a lot of having to confirm and reconfirm and re-clarify. That doesn't really make sense to me. And maybe it's just because I'm new, but a lot of it just doesn't make any fucking sense. Pair that with my manager leaving, who apparently taught me everything wrong. Lovely, love that. And now having someone else come in who is very, very much senior, who has been with the company for over a decade. And now this person has certain ways of doing things. And is also, and I understand what she's doing. She's trying to form a sense of responsibility and accountability within myself and my coworker. However, and I won't read any text because I know laws. I don't want to get sued. I don't want any of it. But there are a lot of instances in which it is very clear that she is annoyed, and we are taking heat from it on almost an hourly basis. There is something that we're doing wrong on an hourly basis. And I know it feels like I'm whining. I'm very aware how I sound right now. And it's the craziest phenomenon because I was discussing this with my coworker yesterday. When I say it out loud, it doesn't sound that bad. But when I'm in the shit of it, it feels really, really, really fucking bad. And so much so that it is now coming into my next morning. Before I'm even in there again. Before I'm even in that bitch again, I'm feeling some type of way. So after I puked this morning, I call off as I feel is necessary. And I attempt to follow up on a task that was left hanging yesterday, and it's important. It affects one of my nurses and her pay. And more or less, I am told to keep her out of the loop as to when we will get back to her on her pay, and that telling her that I'm working on it is necessary, but updating her is not acceptable, not advised. Call it what you will. That really bugs me because I've been on the other side where I'm not getting paid correctly. And the radio silence made me rage. And I know I've never worked as hard as a nurse. Never. And that effort and dedication, the least your employer can do is make sure your pay is accurate, on time, and if they happen to fuck it up, correct it promptly. Period, the end. There are plans in place to correct it as promptly as possible. However, I'm being told not to update the nurse. And then, when I decided to keep my cool and not pop off or say anything, I get another text from passive-aggressive manager. And I'm not trying to attack this person. Notice I didn't even say their name when I picked up the phone. I'm not messy like that. I don't throw people under the bus like that. I don't tell the internet all about my business. Nobody even knows where I work or what city I'm in. It's fine. But I get a call from this manager that I've been referencing. And they say, you know, actually, because you've been vomiting, that's a symptom of COVID. So I'm going to need the on-call phone from you, and I'm going to need you to isolate for 5 days. So now we're getting into fucking with my money. No mention of do a test. No mention of let's try to recoup some of the monies you're missing by keeping you on call, because that is paid. It is bring the phone back, isolate for 5 days. There's no more COVID pay. I have some sick hours, but as I'm fairly new, they're not quite racking up just yet. So that may not be available to me either. So my next check, my last check, is going to be extra small. There are so many ailments that vomiting is a symptom of. COVID is probably the newest of them. And I just had COVID last month. So it ain't that, I don't think. It's chronic stress. And I tell her that. I will edit that out. I would tell the manager that if I was sure they weren't trying to trap me. Pull in, aha! So you're not really sick. Come on in. I don't want that shit. That's going to make me rage. And I'm not the only person in the office feeling this way. I'm not. And at first I did think it was just me, like, wait. Am I overreacting? I feel that I have worked a lot on body awareness as far as my feelings are concerned, and how reality is actually being perceived by me when I'm in a state of, frustration, anxiety, distress. And I checked in with the coworker in a very similar position to me, a tandem position. And nope, they reported that they felt the same way. Repeatedly. I'm lost. I'm feeling displaced. I'm feeling like I'm not good enough for this job. I feel stupid trying to do what I was trained to do. And now being corrected to the point of what feels like an hourly verbal beatdown and assault. And the manager has not called us out of our names or anything like that. Well, they kind of did, actually, for my coworker. And my coworker held it together as best they could. I commend them for that. Because I don't know if that manager could have said that to me and I would have been like, excuse me, I don't like being spoken to that way. And if you double down on it, we're going to have a problem. I commend them for keeping their composure there. But yes, I'm a little bit all over the place. Because I run the scenarios in my head, and without giving detail and processes that could identify where I am, I want to give as much detail as I can to really come to the point of saying, you need to leave your toxic workplace. That's what this video is actually about, entitled. Yes, it's an update. It's me being candid, talking to the camera without any editing or pauses. If you're here for it, wonderful. If you're not, skip the parts where I'm eating and thinking, or click off. But the actual message here is you need to leave your toxic workplace. At first, with my previous manager, it was just hard. The extreme disorganization and one thing being in 4 places was hard. And I feel I navigated that very well. Because once I understood how the nonsense made sense, I flowed into it. Like, it's fine. This is the way it is. It's fine. But now, as I thought, it was wrong. And now, the right way is being taught with an iron fist that doesn't feel empathetic to the previous experience and teaching modality. And I feel it. I feel the tension when I ask for something for clarification. I feel the tension when I say, this is the way we were taught to do it. Especially yesterday when I said it for a process and I had mentioned it before, and the manager started with something like, I don't like judging anyone. So this is like those people who say, I don't mean to offend you, but yeah, one of those. So the manager said, I don't like to judge people unless I've been in the position. First of all, judging for what? Why are we judging in the first place? I'm confused. But anyway, they said, I don't judge unless I've been in the position. And I've been in your position. I've worked your position. And your response is for lack of not reaching out for guidance. And you need to work on that. Something to that effect. I was like, oh yeah, I need to put in my 2 weeks. Now, granted, that was a moment for me to stand up for myself. I chose not to. Because, and I know there's no justification, but because this is a high stress situation in which the state, even right now, maybe I shouldn't say that, maybe I should edit that out, I don't know. The state was observing us. And I didn't want to start an argument and detract from that. Because, well, I understand my need to say, hey, inappropriate, hey, not how it goes down with me. I also understand that the state coming to visit us is important in that it keeps us open and running and correctly and properly certified to best serve our patients. And at the front of my mind is always the patient. So I will make that small sacrifice in the best interest of my patients. Not an issue for me. But I'm going to talk about it on YouTube. Yeah. But I feel like I really knew it then. I'm just like, oh, I gotta go. And they might just not like me. Which is fine. You don't have to like me, but the respect and professionalism has to be there. You don't have to like me though. That bacon crispy. Good shit. Going back to the main message of this video, you need to leave your toxic workplace. Stop dicking around, trying to justify that it's okay and that it'll get better. Stop. Stop. Give it a month at most. But when the alarm bells are going off in your head, you need to listen to them. Otherwise, you're going to end up like me. Waking up, and within 10 minutes of waking up, you're vomiting because you cannot fathom going back to that place today. And then you get a free 5-day vacation, not prompted to take a test because you might be symptomatic for COVID. That you just got over, by the way. You might just end up like me if you don't listen to your intuition, honey. That's all I'm saying. And honestly, y'all, that's fine by me. Because I've learned in this situation what a poorly run agency looks like. At least my branch. My company has accolades up the wazoo. A arm's length long list of achievements and statistics that say they're some of the best you can get. My branch ain't like that. It's just not. It's just not. And I'm being honest. To give a few things, we pay our nurses at the base level lower than the California average. Yes, it's a funding issue with Medi-Cal. Yes, I get that. The business still has to be profitable, but we have multiple multi-million, sometimes billion-dollar investors backing us. So why we can't shell out an extra $3 an hour to at least meet the minimum for this niche of nurses in California is a mystery to me. One example. The business phenomenon of low wages attracts lower quality talent has never been more clear to me than it is here. I have nurses who don't know how to chart, who do not turn in that documentation on time, and who got us a deficiency in hand washing. Hand washing. Hand washing? Hand washing. Mistakes are made, yes, but not on the basics that you've been doing in nursing longer than I've been alive. Did you hear that? I'll be 30 in June. Some of my nurses have been with the company for over 30 years. Before and after the transition. And some of these basics are still getting missed on a weekly basis. One example. Another. And I know they work very hard. They work very hard. But when it becomes a licensing issue, that's another. I have to chase them down for licensing. Renew your fucking license. Send me your goddamn new TB for the year. Complete the online training that we've been telling you about for 3 months. Why am I off the schedule? Well, you're out of compliance. I need you to get back in if you want to continue to work and be paid. It's crazy. I feel like I'm in the goddamn Twilight Zone. Anyway, I wrote a whole list of things. And again, I'm whining and I'm ranting. But I wrote a whole list of things my first week that stood out like, that doesn't seem quite right. For an agency of this caliber that has been established, this looks a little funny. And I just kept adding to it, and adding to it, adding to it, and adding to it. I was at 3 pages of notes by the end of week 2. And when I asked about these things by the old manager, I was told, oh, well, that's the way it's always been. Yeah, it's just kind of part of it. Yeah, this nurse is my problem child. What? How? You're the manager. Manage. You know who you are. And you know where you are. You know you need to leave. So do it. Do it. Go fuck. Stop. No. Enough is enough. You've made your grievances. You've sat up late thinking about it. You've told Tom, Dick, and Harry, your mama, your boyfriend, your girlfriend about it. Stop. Leave. It's time. It was time yesterday. And the day before that. Do it. You want a real easy job that only requires mental fortitude, but otherwise just do what the fuck you're told, and they'll tell you how to do it correctly the first time because it's country mandated? TSA. That job damn near saved my life. In my area, they're starting at 28 right now. If you need to go somewhere, not sponsored by the TSA, you need to go somewhere, no experience, or you need a high school diploma, gotta be 18 years old, on the job training, opportunities for advancement, fully benefited at a super low premium per paycheck, TSA. I'd go back if I could, but I'd like to stay in my industry. And I made some plans. And that's what's next. After you wake up from the wildness that tells your brain you have to stay at this place of work, which you don't. Once you realize it's not good for you, you got to make a plan. I made my plan 2 weeks ago. My plan is to go back to nursing school. I stopped trying to go to nursing school just before the pandemic hit. Everything was impacted. Couldn't get into any of the required classes. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll go for administration. And I did, and I finished. And if the time comes back around, I'll revisit then. The time is now. The time is right now. My plan is to reinstate my CNA, expired during the pandemic, redo my CNA class. I found that school. It's affordable for me. I can do it today, but they're already mid-session. Do the CNA, work nights and or knocks, and go back to school for LVN. And I don't know if you know about ADN and BSN programs in California, but they are ridiculous and really silly to try to get in. You need a bunch of requirements as far as prerequisites are concerned. You need references. You need a statement of, in a lot of places, you need a statement of purpose as to why do you want to be a nurse. There's often lottery systems and point systems. And I said to myself, you know what? I don't want to do that shit. No, it's not for me. No, thank you. So I'm going to do an LVN program at a local community college that looks perfect for me. It's nearby. It's affordable. Good LPN NCLEX. I forget the name. I know I should know that. But good pass rates for the state licensure. And I can be done in a little over a year once these prerequisites are done, which I am enrolling in Monday. I've already enrolled in the college and now I just have to enroll in the classes. And it's fine. It feels really good to have a plan in place that's actually going to work for me. And this is far ahead into the future, maybe 5 or 6 years from now. But because I already have a bachelor's, I'm eligible to enter entry-level master's nursing programs. Now, I know there are a lot of schools of thought on this, like, how can you get a master's in nursing if you're entry-level and you've never done nursing before? Aha! But I will. I've done some nursing. Vocational, not RN, but I think it makes me a little bit more applicable, and the continued learning will be easier. And I'd like to concentrate my master's in nursing administration. So think clinical director, director of nursing, maybe even clinical liaison. And with that master's, I'll be eligible to sit for the RN NCLEX. And then she's just raking in money like a boss. And then off to the races we go. But what has led me to this? I miss the patient care aspect very much. I thought I'd enjoy sitting behind a desk, but because I have before, and it was fine, and I enjoyed it very much. But maybe it's just a certain desk I'm sitting at. Maybe other desks would be fine. But I've continued to put in applications for other healthcare administration entry-level roles, and I'm not getting any hits because I don't have 3 to 5 years of experience in an administrative capacity. Ain't that about a bitch? You gotta have experience now, 3 to 5 years even to get into entry-level. That makes me absolutely sick to my stomach. Kind of how I was saying in my first video. I've spent all this money on this fucking degree, and I still need experience. But how do I get experience to get experience to get experience to get... Somebody tell me what that's about, please. I'm waiting. I'm still waiting for an answer. I don't know if I can finish this last piece of toast, y'all. And my plan is in motion already. I signed an offer letter yesterday for another home health agency, one of my agency's competitors, actually. I know, isn't that awful? Isn't that bad? I'm just gonna be like, yep, bye, and go work for the other guy. Oh well, it is what it is. And I signed their offer letter yesterday. They're starting at a little bit lower than I'd like, but I have the opportunity to take on more cases with higher acuity that will pay more. And this job is nice because it's one-to-one, so it's just going to be me in the home with patients, which I love. I love one-to-one home health care. Oh my God. It makes my heart sing, and I didn't even notice how much I loved it until I was working in behavior therapy. Behavior therapy is something else. It will test you in ways that you didn't even know you could be tested in, but I loved it so very much. I had the personal care aspect, I had the behavior aspect, I had the in the home setting where my client is most comfortable aspect, and where everything could just come together in a very real way for them versus like a facility or a day program center. It was wonderful. I love home health care. I might just stay in it for the rest of my life. If I just decided like, no, LVN in home health care will be fine actually forever. That'll be fine. I think I'd be very happy. I'm happy where my patients are. Or at least that's what I found. Even in my previous office job where I was working benchmarking, I was in a very patient heavy role in which I was speaking with patients on a like daily basis, and it made me very happy. So, yep, I think that's just my calling. I think that's just where God wants me to return to, because the pull is there. And it was really reinforced when I took care of my auntie who had, what was it? A little cyst removed. And I picked her up from the hospital. I got her all comfortable at home. You know, I went over her discharge instructions from her doctor. We just sipped coffee and I pampered her a bit, and I'm like, I need to do more of this. This makes me happy. So I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna do the quick, easy thing, the heart-pulling thing, and I'm going to go back into caregiving, even though it's a little bit of a pay cut. It's fine. I'm happy. I know caregiving like the back of my hand. I know CNA work like the back of my hand. I'm going to reinstate the CNA while I'm working as a caregiver and move up to a CNA level once the CNA is done. And once the CNA is done, I'll just continue to work those knocks and evenings while I do the LVN program. And I'm onboarding with the other guy agency as of yesterday. I have just my TB, and that's it. I got my TB left, and that's it. And that's getting placed in 1 hour. So I may not even give 2 weeks notice, because remember, like I said, I keep giving her gender away. Not that it matters. Yeah, I don't think it matters. The manager wants me to isolate for 5 days, which means I'm going to be off work. Like until Tuesday or Wednesday, or maybe even the whole work week. If they want to count business days, I don't even know. I didn't really read the text all that much because I was just annoyed. But that's the update. I'm switching gears. I'm pivoting again. I don't regret getting my bachelor's. It's something that I've always wanted to do, if even for the sake of I was able to acquire this higher education that really interests me, even if I'm not going to be using it directly for a while. It's fine. I've enjoyed all that I've learned, and I find healthcare administration, the back end, the legal end, the personnel and HR end fascinating. But this company has jaded me in a way that I really don't appreciate, and I have to move on from to keep myself healthy. And like I said, you know who you are and you know where you are in that job that you need to leave. So just do it. I gave you an out. There are several other outs if you need the income and you're afraid to leave because your income's not going to be there. There are other things too, but I'm not one of those channels that spews off side hustles. I'm just not. Some of them don't even work anymore as well as they did 4 or 5 years ago. You kind of have to look around your area to see what's actually working. House cleaning is a big one that never goes out of style. If you got your basic home cleaning supplies and an agency around you, you can call them up. They can put you on the ship tomorrow. That's another one. Some of them start in the mid to high 20s. There's another one. So 2 freebies for you if you're also in my shoes and you don't care to stay in your industry. If you just need something quick for income, there you go. I think there was something else I wanted to say to y'all. I'm forgetting it. I know it's there. So maybe I'll just put it back in the, like at the end of the video or something. But guys, I've got 71 subscribers now. Oh my God. Every time that number goes up, I can't believe it. I just can't believe it. I can't believe it. Thank you. Thank you so much. You've made this this gal very happy. And it's motivation to keep going. And thank you. Some of my videos are low on the views. And I don't mind it. Hey, not every video is for everybody, and that's fine. But for the ones that are up and a lot of people are enjoying it, I enjoy that you enjoy it. So thank you. I'm glad. I'm really glad. And yeah, I don't know what's going to be next or when there's going to be a next update. I don't know. I don't want to make this like a road to nursing school channel. I think that's a little premature. And perhaps it could be useful. I know it's useful. Especially for someone who is working while doing it. Because I'm definitely going to be working while I do it. I'm one of those people that doesn't like to not work. I know. I wish I could be one of those stay-at-home wives. I can't do it. I get so bored and in my own head about things, and I just know I need to be doing something productive. I'm a go out there and do the damn thing type of woman. So I must do the damn thing. But I will update you as the updates come. Should be interesting. I'm happy you're coming along. This has been Shady. Unfiltered, uncut. Where are we at for this? Fuck! We're at 47 minutes for this video. That's a long ass time. If you're here till the end, I'm not even a big enough YouTuber to do this yet, but it's silly. If you are here at the end, comments, I don't know. Which emoji should we do? Do the tongue out one, the one that looks like this. Do that one. Yeah, that one. That's one of my favorites. If you're here at the end, do that emoji. This has been Shady, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Bye.